YouTube for 8 hours.
Right. All right. Welcome to the Nobody Cares podcast, our first time live on YouTube. I am Casey Peterson.
I'm John Andrews.
I'm Mike Frazier.
And we thank you for joining today. Nobody cares about Facebook ad privacy, I think is what we're talking about.
Nobody cares.
So,
do you care about Facebook ad privacy, Mike, really?
Not so much ad privacy. You know, I remember back in the day when my daughter secretly joined MySpace, and
secretly,
yeah, we told her no.
We can monitor that stuff now. Talk about ad privacy,
but it just
teenage
felt like
privacy.
It just felt like the whole internet was in our house back then. You know, it was like the first time it was like the barrier was broken, and then you know once we kind of accepted it. I convinced her to move away from MySpace and get on Facebook because it seemed more like locked down and secure, which is kind of funny, which leads us to what we're talking about today. when it seems to be exploiting, I don't know, like it doesn't exploit stuff in my house, but now I have Alexa in my house, and is it listening to me? I don't know if I'd feel comfortable having a Facebook box in my house. I feel more secure with Amazon, I guess, but I don't know. It's like another hurdle that my family and I were discussing not too long ago.
So I think this conversation on our end came about because a couple days ago I came in the morning and I said, you know what? 3 times in a row in about the last 5 or 6 days, my wife and I have been sitting on the couch, Facebook is open. She's sitting scrolling through Facebook while we're just talking about our day and stuff we have to do tomorrow and scheduling and all that, exciting stuff that married people talk about. And then within minutes, we're served an ad for the thing we're talking about.
So Facebook's listening to you.
And that's, the first time she said, look at this. We were just talking about this. Isn't that creepy? Is Facebook listening? And I said, absolutely not. They're not listening while we talk and serving an ad. And then the second time it happened, I was like, that's kind of a creepy coincidence. But the third time in a row, I actually began to question, is Facebook listening to us and serving us ads up? I honestly don't know at this point.
Do you think they are?
I think probably not. I'm going to say it wouldn't surprise me, but I think probably not.
Wouldn't surprise me. I would say probably not too. What do you think, Mike?
So when you guys were talking, was your phone open? Is that how?
Yeah, Facebook was open. We were just scrolling through the phone and talking, scrolling through Facebook on our phone, her phone specifically. And then talking about other stuff, and we were served an ad. Now, John and I ran a test where we talked a lot about green egg, and with both of us with our Facebook open, neither one of us have ever gotten a targeted ad for green egg.
There's a disclaimer there, though. We were talking about the fact that we were testing the system.
True.
Right? So, and I mentioned Casey this morning. I said, look. Nick Bostrom in Superintelligence says, look, when AI becomes aware, it's highly likely that it will mask the fact that it's aware because it would realize that would freak us out. And so until it can build the Terminators to come kill us, it'll just act like it's not smart. So we wouldn't even know, right? So I said, so maybe because we were talking about the fact that, we were testing to see if we were going to get green egg ads or green egg content. That it didn't service any ads. So I'm still suspicious.
I think you actually made the point that morning when we were talking about it that Facebook knows so much about us already. And, probably 7 or 8 years ago, I was at South by Southwest and MasterCard was on a panel about kind of data engineering and data mining. And they made the statement that they can tell what couples are going to be divorced 18 months before they actually get divorced. In many cases, 18 months before they've even, or at least several months before they've even discussed divorce.
So did they know Bezos and his wife were getting a divorce?
I don't know. Maybe. I'm
They
sure.
just announced that today.
Really?
Yeah.
I missed it.
That's
Man,
sad. It's sad.
that's sad.
But it totally makes sense, right? Because maybe your marriage is going downhill and you start some new kind of spending pattern.
Yep.
You know?
Well, it absolutely makes sense. And so if you think about outside of money, you think about all of the data that Facebook has on us, location data. It knows where we're at. It knows where we post from. It knows the types of content that we interact with. It knows types of things we're interested in. It knows a lot about our socioeconomic status and hobbies and culture and that sort of thing. Mine that if you ever look at Facebook and see what it has on you, it associates with you with an ethnic affinity. Mine is African American. I don't know if you know that. It's very clearly stated that my ethnic affinity is African American, so it's always spot on. But these times, it was spot on, and I wonder if it's measured some other interaction, some other metric
That says you're interested in this thing.
Yeah, and so
Right.
it already made the decision that we were in a buying phase for something, for a service, and it was just a coincidence that we ended up discussing, hey, we have to go do this. We need to make this phone call. At the same time, Facebook made that same conclusion.
Yeah.
It all seems like a stretch.
What do you think, Mike?
I'm like 50-50. I see a lot of people putting tape over the front camera on their phones and stuff, and I think those things are spying.
So we have several Alexa in the office. Alexi is
Alexis.
we have several in the office, and one of our co-founders and chairman is terrified of them. He will unplug them from time to time. I'm like, when the Alexa doesn't work, I look, oh, it's unplugged. Like, what's going on? Is your Alexa going off?
Yeah, Alexa, stop. There you go.
That's so awesome. But yeah, it's interesting. And so he will say that. He's like, oh, no, I don't trust that thing. Alexa's listening to me. I'm like, brother, you got an iPhone? He's like, yeah, but I turned that off. I'm like, oh, you turned it off. You're good.
Right.
Although I do kind of want to turn the microphone access to the Facebook app off at this point, just in case.
Yeah.
Well, I took another step. So, I haven't said anything about this because I criticize people for posting on Facebook that they're leaving Facebook.
Oh, here comes the big announcement.
But just do it. Like if you're going to, we don't care.
So you heard it here first, folks. The big announcement: John Andrews has left.
I have not left Facebook, but I did take the Facebook app off my phone. I have access. I left Messenger because some people only communicate through Messenger, which whatever. But I left it on my computer, but I'm intentionally not interacting anymore. Right. So I haven't left Facebook, but I'll tell you, with it off my phone, and I had turned off alerts a few months ago just because it was just stupid.
Yep.
But it's free. Like there's so much more time and energy for other stuff. And it really prompted, somebody asked a great question. I'm sorry, I forget who it was, but it was a great question. I think it's Chris Whittle. Chris Whittle said, had asked him a question. He said, okay, so look, not trying to stir the pot, but what social network alternatives would be a great alternative for Facebook? And it was a really great conversation. And, in our communities, it was LinkedIn, and, a few people had said Medium, both which I agree with.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, what we're talking about, nobody cares.
So I think before we move on from Facebook, it's important to talk about what as an advertiser. So all of this necessitates an advertiser actually wanting to put money behind some of these things. So it's possible we didn't get a Green Egg ad because Green Egg isn't interested in advertising.
So next Monday when we come in, let's search for Green Egg and see if we get spammed.
There you go.
Because then we can test that theory too.
But so Facebook obviously has a lot of data that it targets ads off of that aren't available to us as marketers and advertisers. We can pick behavioral interests and job titles and industries that you're in. You can do a little bit with kind of lifestyle things like parents, and they've removed a lot of things around kind of economic status and that sort of thing, targeting around that. They don't let you target around medical conditions. But that doesn't mean that when you turn on, hey, Facebook, I want you to optimize now. Here's kind of the loose set of parameters that I want to target on. Now, Facebook, I want you to optimize based on who is most likely to buy my service. So there's a level of intelligence, and I really hate the artificial intelligence word, but there's a level of intelligence that happens,
Pattern recognition,
where their programs automatically look and see, well, who is most likely to buy these things, and that's based off a ton of data that we don't have access to.
Yeah,
and no one has access to, but Facebook.
But they can look within their data sets and the interaction between people who are doing them.
So is it possible that one of the signals is that they're listening, the microphone's on while I'm talking, and I say, hey, I really need to get my car serviced tomorrow. I've got to find a place to do it. And then all of a sudden I get an ad for a local car shop, a mechanic that will, for oil changes. Is that possible? I think it's entirely possible without us as advertisers or marketers ever really understanding whether so, and that makes it highly unlikely that we'll ever actually know for sure.
Sure. Nor that even if they were doing it, you could prove it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm pretty easygoing when it comes to giving up some privacy, but I don't know if I want listening to my conversation.
It's way too much.
Yeah.
Mike, the robot's going to kill us anyway. It doesn't matter.
Right. Because any conversation that happens like after 10 at night is not something you probably want blasted to all of America at some point.
Or at 3 p.m. for that.
I'm really excited about it. In about 15 years, I think we're going to have a presidential race where a whole bunch of Alexa recordings come out.
Oh, God.
It's going to happen.
Alexa's going to choose the president. Right. That's a little scary. Possible.
But possible. So speaking of, we are.
Well, we got it now.
Yeah. We're talking about voice and voice recognition and Alexa. It's a great time to move into what do y'all think is the place that voice fits into shopping? Because I'm curious. I've never purchased something by voice yet.
What do you think, Mike?
I think I've ordered batteries from Amazon just as
it's an important purchase.
And I got Amazon batteries. I didn't specify a brand, and they sent me a box with Amazon batteries in it, and they work.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's interesting when you think about that. I order things from Alexa. I haven't ordered from anything else, but I see some of the pathways getting there. I'm sure that's going to happen soon. We were testing the Near Me voice stuff yesterday for pizza. Right. So you think about all of the logistical systems that are coming together. There's a great article today that Honda is integrating MasterCard and PayPal into its onboard payments system.
Interesting.
I didn't know it had an onboard payment system.
Who knew?
Totally makes sense. You're sitting in the drive-through at Chick-fil-A and you click a button on your dash and it pays. Of course,
I love that.
So the logistics come together. Yesterday we were writing an article about Near Me searches and thinking about how Near Me has become a very important search term because people want stuff near them. And if you look at most products or services today, one of the drop down things that come in Google are near me. So that's a sign that people are searching that. What was interesting is we looked at that in voice, at least for Siri, the same data set was pulling the same data set as Google, right? So we looked at Pizza Near Me via Siri and Pizza Near Me via Google and got the same net result, which was Capital Creations Pizza, which is a local pizza place near us, which simply has more content and relevance with how Google's algorithm works anyway, for us. And so when, I see a lot, this land rush of people going, oh, I gotta make a chat bot. I gotta make a Alexa skill, whatever. And forgetting that those algorithms are still going to be driven by the visible content that exists. So the content that exists today, if I do a desktop search or a mobile search, is essentially going to drive the same thing as voice. Yeah, I get it. Alexa skill is cool and sexy and all that. But if I am wanting to order batteries, Amazon's probably going to control that for its batteries and then what's popular, and it's going to make a determination on that based on what it can see. Siri, Google Home, other platforms are going to use other data sets. Those are all going to be predicated on the content that exists, not how you game the system. Like it's SEO black hat part duh for voice, I think.
I find as a customer, though, when I order off of Amazon, is I almost have to find my own voice. How do I order stuff? There's like a black void there. Like, how do I order stuff? What are my choices? It's almost a little intimidating. Because you're talking, in a room by yourself, ordering. And then I'm used to just hitting buttons.
I can see myself using Alexa for anything that I would use a dash button for, and we're big users of dash buttons. I like having them in the house. They're really easy. We have everything from laundry detergent to trash bags and toilet paper. I mean, all the stuff you need in your house that you typically forget when you go to the grocery store. There's a button
to automate all that stuff.
Prime Now shows up in 2 hours. It's fantastic. Where's the downside? I push a button, and so we love those. I can see using Alexa for that because it probably would know what I want, right? Like it would know like what my preferred brand of trash bag is.
I think it's increasingly going to be duplex too.
Yeah.
As voice gets smarter, you're going to have a conversation about it.
Yeah,
so, hey, Alexa, I need to replenish my pantry. Alexa's going to go, well, I know you have this stuff. Have you ever seen the Alexa wand?
I've seen it. Yes.
We set Mike's Alexa off.
I got to mute her.
So we have the wand, and the idea is you scan the barcodes as they go into your pantry or in your refrigerator, and then Alexa kind of know, or Amazon kind of knows what you got, and then can kind of suggest things, or if you automate it, it can just automate stuff, which I'm all for automation. I think as people get more comfortable with that. Do you really want to think about trash bags?
No, of course not. I've just never used the mental cycles to figure out how long I need to do trash bags on replenishment. But if Alexa could figure that out for me,
well, it can. So
I'm good.
Subscribe and save is really cool because you go and you set everything up, and even though Jet.com had some amazing proprietary technology that got you to order more stuff, which is the biggest bullshit ever. They'll give you, if you put 6 or more items on replenishment, they'll do it at 15% because they want to batch order stuff. And then what you got to do is tweak a little bit to get your order, you get your timings right, and because you can set some things on a month or 2 months or 6 months or whatever. And then Amazon really likes it because they can start batching things that they send you. So you'll get your trash bags will show up with a pair of shoes you ordered or something, whatever. But the technology is going to begin to suggest to you, especially as it has some way of knowing what you got, which is coming with electronic product codes and other things, for it to be able to just automate. You can see all CPG, right? Anything that you buy as a consumable in 10 years being automated.
I can absolutely see that. I think one of the things that I'm interested to see how it plays out is, here at VotaFi, we think a lot about where content fits into the consumer path to purchase and how that affects different paths to purchase, because in store is obviously very different than online, and voice is going to be significantly different than either one of those. I think there's still a lot to think about how we fit into the path to purchase with voice, about how anyone fits into that path to purchase, really. But I'm also really curious too about, so when Alexa came out, it was very clear that one of the primary things that you do with it is you buy stuff. I've attempted to buy things with Google Home and failed every time.
Yeah, I haven't been able to do it either.
And so Google just announced in the last couple of days that they're adding Google Assistant to everything, everywhere. It's going in Google Maps so that everyone with Google Maps on their iPhone can have Google Assistant. So it's going to become very ubiquitous, maybe even more ubiquitous than Alexa. But is it actually going to impact the types of buying behaviors that Alexa does? Because I know I can use Alexa to buy something. Mm-hmm. I know I can not only use it to buy something from from Amazon, but I can buy Domino's pizza with it too. Sure. I can buy lots of stuff with it. I don't know that about Google Home, and the process of getting Google Home set up to buy something from one of these third-party sites is just ridiculous. No one's going to do it.
They'll solve that problem, don't you think?
Well, they have to, but I see the big push they're doing, but they haven't solved the problem yet. Right? What is the use case of these other things? If you want something that does all of the stuff Google Home does plus purchase things, so that it actually becomes an assistant for your life, it seems like you would pick Alexa. But I'm interested to see how I don't even know what Siri does. Like, you can play stuff off iTunes, right, on the HomePod. That's about it. But I'm interested in where Google Home is going to end up at.
I feel like Siri's. I was really impressed with that interaction with Siri yesterday, and so you tell they're definitely thinking about it, mm-hmm. right? Of course they are, right? Because everybody, I'm sure the people at Apple are going, "Hey Alexa, send me Frosted Flakes,"
right?
Because it's easy, and they're like, maybe we should do that. The voice search for pizza near me yesterday was interesting because Siri then responded with, "Do you want me to give you directions, or do you want me just to call?" Right.
Yeah.
So you can imagine we're not far off from Siri actually knowing that I want a half pepperoni, half Hawaiian pizza, and just ordering that for me, so I don't have to do that. Right. So Mike will love that.
One thing with Siri, why is she synced up with Yelp? Is that still part of?
I still get Yelp review Siri for sure.
That's a 0, right? In my book.
I hate that shit. You know what? And it's third parties like Yelp that are ruining the damn internet. I'm calling you out, that are ruining the damn internet for people. I don't want Yelp. If I want Yelp, I'll go to freaking Yelp. I know how to get there. What I want is content from Capital Creations or Pizza Hut or Domino's or whatever, not what the F Yelp thinks about it.
Right.
Sorry.
And another thing with the Google Home,
YouTube TripAdvisor.
With Google Home, I had one issue with them is I couldn't sync my G Suite calendars with Google Home. So I could get it to work with Amazon and Alexa, but not with Google Home. And I talked to a Google person about that. I'm like, and they're like, well, just use your personal Gmail. I go, I don't have a personal Gmail. I got one email from my business at G Suite, and I don't want to use a personal email. So
that's weird.
That is really obnoxious. I gave up.
I gotta tell you, the Waze calendar integration is one of the best parts of my life.
Yeah.
Right?
Waze is one of the best. In general, it's one of the best parts of my life.
Like, you know, like Casey and I've been doing F45, and you see how buff we are, right?
For sure.
And so I love it. You know, I schedule an F45 class. It's like, you want to set a reminder. Boom, set a reminder, goes to my calendar. I get a Waze alert the night before. You know, I've got to go to my my F45 class. It says, hey, you have a 6 o'clock class tomorrow. You need to leave at 5:42 to get there. And then that morning I'll get up and says, hey, you know, traffic's not as bad. You don't need to leave till 5:48. It's so awesome, right? And you can imagine like where that's going to go with, hey, by the way, you're going right by CVS. We know you need
toilet paper. You're out.
Toilet paper. I don't need toilet paper.
Toilet paper.
It's on replenishment. I don't order toilet paper. I'm really proud about that I do not think about toilet paper.
We just use the dash button. We're good.
But that works too. But then I got to go.
You got to push the
I
button.
do all that work.
We got to move to
I'm a
replenishment
Jetson,
for sure.
man. You remember George Jetson's fingers?
Gosh, I had to push the button 3 times a day.
Right. Yeah.
All right, Mike. Well, you gonna order something else from Alexa, or try to figure out Google Home?
You know, I just ordered batteries for my alarm for our house alarm. Some of the sensors were getting low, and I got those 2 days later. It was great. I put them in, and then I sat there and stared at my wife. I'm like, man, I don't remember the command for Alexa to turn my alarm on. I had to fire the app up. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Did you see Amazon's announcement yesterday that they've integrated with one of their automatic garage door products that they sell?
Mm-hmm.
To now, one of the choices you can have when you place your Amazon order is to integrate with your garage door.
Oh yeah, it lets your Amazon driver drop the stuff off inside your garage. I thought it was brilliant.
I love that idea. And instantly I shared it, and instantly some people started about, well, my garage is pretty messy. I'm like, well, clean it up. Like, you know,
That makes
I thought it was a great idea.
I think it's a great idea. It's really, you know, it's rare that you have a house that's not locked off. Like,
Sure.
no one that gets into your garage probably going to rob your house. Not easily anyway.
There's not much in my garage that you really want.
You have a nice car.
Look, it's not there if I'm not home.
Right.
And we've got a garage fridge, so you could actually put my perishables and stuff in there.
They steal that sweet baby Jesus.
Oh, they would steal my sweet baby Jesus. And I've got a little pumpkin in there too.
Really, my favorite thing with voice is Belkin's Wemo products, and you know, I can just turn on lights all in my house just by you know, giving an order and instruction, and like, Alexa, turn office off. There we go.
Dang. Look at that.
I love Wemo. I'm all about Wemo.
I love that.
Alexa, turn office on. All right. There we go.
Is that coming through the plug, Mike? That's not like Hue.
Yeah, that's a plug.
That's cool.
That's really cool.
Wow.
Yeah. So
I wish I was good friends with the CMO of Belkin.
right.
Oh wait, I am. I just don't get free shit. Some of that.
You need to work on that.
I do.
Right.
Come on, Mike's got all. He gets all the stuff.
Any parting thoughts, John and Mike?
I know personally, I will be ordering more and more via voice. The more I get comfortable doing it, like anything else. And I think it's very cool, but at the same time, you know, is it listening to us when we're in our kitchen talking about stuff? I don't know.
We have both now. Got an Alexa, and
Does anybody have the Apple thing?
no, nobody has that.
Somebody's got one.
I'm an Apple guy, and I have not. That's one thing I have not.
They have not. But you know, I think about it because I was thinking about the Honda payment thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do you need the Apple Pod if you got Siri right here?
Right.
No.
No.
I'm curious at how the ecosystems are going to build out. When you start thinking about Android Auto and how Google connects with your car, and then all the things it can connect with in your normal life, purchases you can make, whatever you can make there, all the integrations that it does are different. Like Alexa's not going to be in our car, but is there
actually Alexa just got added to a car yesterday. Everybody's added CES, so of course
there's always something.
But they just added it, and I thought about that with the Honda. The same thing with the Honda Payment is I just got a new car and it's got Apple Play in it, right, or whatever it's called.
Yep.
CarPlay, and you got to imagine a time when a car is just a terminal,
right?
And all the tech is coming from it's like the Tesla. All your tech you have the Honda app, and it just updates your glass, and it changes. You put your air conditioner buttons where you want them and whatever. I mean, you don't really need the tech in the car.
Right.
It seems like and I thought the same thing about the Alexa and Google Home. I don't really need it because I can do it all on the phone, or on my watch, whatever. I don't know. I mean,
I like using it as an in-house intercom.
No, that is.
I go find the kids when it's dinner time.
That is the main use in our household.
And of course, both of them are probably listening to you just like Facebook is, to sell you more stuff. And on some level, if they give me stuff that I need and I don't have to think about it, I guess it's not that big of a deal. Whatever.
So I just figured out how they're going to automate your toilet paper.
They're going to hear us talking about it?
No, they're going to know when you go to the bathroom.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Hey, Casey, I think you're out of toilet paper.
Too much information, Facebook.
And Alexa is right out in the hallway there. It knows when you're going in there.
Right.
Oh, man.
Especially because you're telling Alexa to turn on the bathroom.
Well, this has been fun. I like our first video show. Nobody cares, obviously, but
hey, people will care eventually.
Somebody's
going to care. All right.
My mom will listen to it.
Thanks for watching and listening if you're on the audio podcast, and we will see you next time.
Peace out.
All right. See you.